Garden centers won't tell you this, but fertilizer might be the reason your soil stopped working. And if that sounds wrong, stay with me. If you've ever walked into your garden with a watering can and hope in your chest, only to feel like the ground forgot how to live, this message is for you. Many longtime gardeners are facing something our grandparents rarely did. The soil looks normal, but it behaves like powder. It repels water, cracks in heat, and barely responds to fertilizer. No matter how carefully you prune or water, nothing improves. We keep this simple. No complicated systems. No expensive fixes. Just biology working the way it was designed to. Today isn't about buying more products or hauling heavy amendments. It's about bringing tired soil back to life with a simple, ancient liquid. It works by activating the biology beneath your feet, restoring natural processes instead of forcing results. Long before garden centers and synthetic fertilizers, people revived soil using fermentation, kitchen scraps, and an understanding of microscopic life. These methods were affordable and effective, and in today's biologically depleted soils, they may matter more than ever. I'll show you the real signs of dead soil, introduce the ancient liquid that revives it, and explain exactly how to use it so you see real change. Not guesswork. Your soil isn't dead. It's waiting to be fed in a way nature understands. Before we mix anything, we need to understand why soil shuts down. And this isn't your fault. Modern gardening leans heavily on chemicals and quick fixes. In doing so, it often ignores what soil truly needs. Healthy soil is alive. Billions of organisms, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, earthworms, form a living network. They break down organic matter, build structure, feed plants, and hold moisture like a sponge. When that network collapses, soil may look normal, but it acts lifeless. And most gardeners never realize that's what happened. You've probably seen the signs. Water pools on top instead of soaking in. Soil feels tight and compacted. Mulch won't break down. Worms disappear. Seedlings sprout but stall. These aren't plant problems. They're biological problems underground. Years of tilling, heat, chemicals, salt buildup, chlorinated water, and lack of organic matter slowly suffocate soil life. It's like having a fridge full of ingredients but firing every cook in the kitchen. Nutrients may still be there, but nothing processes them. That's why adding fertilizer often changes nothing. Fertilizer feeds plants, not soil life. Without biology, nutrients sit unused and can even make soil harder over time. The delivery system is gone. That's where this ancient liquid helps. It restores life. It wakes up microbes. It helps fungi rebuild structure. Worms return. Water soaks in again. Plants regain strength, sometimes within weeks. I've seen soil so compacted a shovel bounced off it. After feeding it natural liquids like the one I'll show you, water began absorbing properly, worms returned, and plants grew deep green without store-bought fertilizer. Plants don't thrive because of what we dump in. They thrive because of what we allow the soil to become. Before heading to the kitchen, try 3 simple tests. They require no tools and tell you more than a store kit. The shovel test. If the shovel slides in easily, soil has structure. If it clangs or resists, compaction is blocking air and roots. The drainage test. Dig a small hole and fill it with water. If it sits for over an hour, roots are suffocating. If it disappears instantly, soil can't hold nutrients. Healthy soil drains steadily, not too fast, not too slow. The life test. Scoop 1 shovel of soil and spread it out. You should see at least 3 to 5 worms. They are the soil's heartbeat. Few or none means the biological engine is weak. If these tests show trouble, don't feel discouraged. Soil decline happens slowly, but recovery can happen faster than you think. And the first step starts with something most people pour down the drain every single week. Now, let's move to my favorite part. And once you see it, you'll never throw it away again. Ancient liquid number 1, rice wash. This solution starts in your kitchen. If you've ever rinsed rice and seen cloudy white water, you've probably poured it down the drain. Traditional farmers didn't. That milky water is one of the simplest soil probiotics on Earth. It doesn't feed plants directly. It feeds soil life. The cloudiness comes from starch released by the rice. That starch becomes quick energy for beneficial microbes, especially lactic acid bacteria. Think of them as first responders for damaged soil. They help break down organic matter, reduce harmful microbes, soften compacted ground, and rebuild the underground ecosystem. Making rice wash is simple. Take 1 cup of uncooked rice and add 2 cups of clean water. Any rice works. Swirl it firmly until the water turns cloudy and milky. That cloudy liquid is the beginning of soil revival. This isn't dirt washing off the rice, it's starch being released. Exactly what soil microbes need. Once the water turns cloudy, pour it into a clean jar. Now, here's the important part. Cover the jar with something breathable. A paper towel, thin cloth, or coffee filter. Secured with a rubber band. Don't use a tight lid. Microbes need air. If you seal it, you ruin the process. With proper airflow, fermentation stays clean and safe. Place the jar in a cool, shaded spot for 2 to 3 days, away from direct sunlight. During that time, microbes wake up and multiply. The liquid may separate slightly, and the smell will guide you. If it smells lightly sour, like yogurt or sourdough, that's perfect. If it smells rotten or sharply unpleasant, discard it and start over. Done right, the scent is mild. Some people worry about trace arsenic in rice. That's understandable. But healthy soil microbes actually bind heavy metals and help neutralize contaminants. You're not adding harm. You're adding the biological team that cleans things up. Once ready, store the rice wash in the refrigerator and use it within a week. Before applying, dilute 1 part rice wash with 10 parts water. Pour it directly into the soil at the base of plants, not on the leaves. This feeds what's underground. As microbes multiply, compacted soil loosens, nutrients become available, and water moves more freely. Within days, you may notice water soaking in easier, seedlings standing taller, mulch breaking down naturally. Revival often begins with something we once poured down the drain. If your soil improves but your plants still look tired, this is the missing piece most gardeners never learn about. Now we go a step further. If soil is waking up but plants are still yellowing or stalled, they don't just need nutrients, they need direction. Plants rely on hormones, enzymes, and trace compounds that synthetic fertilizers don't provide. That's where fermented plant juice, FPJ, comes in. Think of it as a natural multivitamin for your garden. Fast-growing plants carry powerful growth signals. When fermented properly, those signals are drawn out and concentrated, encouraging roots to stretch, stems to thicken, and leaves to deepen in color. FPJ works gently and steadily. It doesn't burn plants, which makes it ideal for gardeners who want results without risk. To make it, gather about 2 pounds of vigorous plant material: stinging nettle, chickweed, dandelion leaves, grass clippings, or vegetable trimmings. If it grows fast and looks healthy, it likely carries strong growth energy. Chop it into small pieces. Then mix it with an equal weight of brown sugar. If you don't have a scale, just make sure the sugar coats everything thoroughly until the mixture looks glossy and slightly damp. The sugar draws nutrient-rich liquid from the plant cells. That liquid becomes the base of your FPJ. Pack the mixture loosely into a jar. Place something clean on top to press it down gently. Cover with cloth, not a lid. This is living fermentation and it needs air. Set it in a cool, dark place. After 5 to 7 days, a dark, syrupy liquid will collect at the bottom. Strain it into another container. That's your concentrated FPJ. The smell will be strong. That's normal. When ready to use, dilute 1 part FPJ with 20 parts water. Apply it to the soil around plants or as a light foliar spray during the cool parts of the day. Over the next few days, you'll likely see something encouraging begin to happen. Leaves lift. Yellow softens into green. It works with nature, not against it. And that's why it doesn't burn, shock, or damage soil. That's why it's ideal for senior gardeners. No complicated ratios, no chasing numbers. And once you see what FPJ can do, weeds stop looking like enemies. They become ingredients. Now that the soil is awake and plants are supported, we're ready for the final ancient liquid, one that rebuilds the underground ecosystem itself. But if your soil has been damaged for years, you'll need something stronger. If rice wash is the spark and FPJ the encouragement, compost tea is the rescue team. This liquid floods your garden with beneficial microbes in a single application. Unlike fertilizers that only supply nutrients, compost tea restores the entire living community that unlocks nutrients, protects roots, improves structure, and builds lasting fertility. It's more than compost soaked in water. It's a living brew. Start with dechlorinated water. Let tap water sit overnight if needed. Add about 2 pounds of finished earthy-smelling compost. No fresh manure. Place it in a breathable bag like a pillowcase and suspend it in the bucket. Add 1 tablespoon of molasses as food for microbes, but only if you provide oxygen. Drop in an aquarium air stone and let it bubble continuously. Oxygen keeps harmful bacteria away and helps aerobic microbes multiply. Within 24 hours, you'll see foam forming. That's life thriving. And this is where most store-bought fertilizers simply can't compete. Use it immediately, around plant bases or as a light foliar spray. If lifting 5 gallons feels heavy, scale down. The microbes won't mind. Compost tea repopulates soil damaged by heat, chemicals, or neglect. It improves water retention, strengthens roots, and increases resilience. And, most importantly, its benefits build over time. Together, rice wash, FPJ, and compost tea form a complete biological toolkit. They wake soil, nourish plants, and rebuild the invisible system where lasting change begins. Here's how to use them through the seasons. Simply and without strain. Early spring start with diluted rice wash to gently wake dormant microbes. Follow with compost tea to repopulate the soil. Together, they turn stiff spring ground into soft, cooperative earth. Summer apply diluted FPJ every 2 weeks. It's steady encouragement, not force. Leaves firm up. Stems strengthen. Growth continues even in heat. Autumn finish with 1 more compost tea drench. This feeds the soil over winter, breaking down organic matter and improving structure while you rest indoors. That's it. No heavy lifting, just biology doing its work. Each year, the soil becomes easier to manage. You stop fighting nature and start partnering with it. And this is where most modern gardening advice gets it completely wrong. Here's the deeper truth. Plants aren't fed by fertilizer. They're fed by microbes. Fertilizer provides minerals, but without microbes, those minerals sit unused. Over time, chemical salts can harden soil and damage life underground. Ancient liquids take a different approach. Rice wash introduces beneficial bacteria that soften compaction and release trapped nutrients. FPJ supplies natural growth hormones, the same biological signals plants use to thrive. Compost tea rebuilds the ecosystem, helping fungi produce glomalin, the compound that binds soil into soft, crumbly structure. That's why healthy soil feels alive. These liquids restore automatic soil functions. You don't micromanage moisture. You don't panic over deficiencies. The soil becomes supportive and resilient. For gardeners who want things to get easier over time, this method replaces chemical dependence with biological independence. It turns frustration into confidence, and it proves something powerful. The old ways still work. Now that you understand how and why this works, let me speak plainly. You love your garden, but you also value simplicity. You don't want complicated systems. You want something that fits naturally into your life.